Diane with Bolan-Beaty Boogie. For the past couple of, well, years actually, I've been working on astral projection, being able to leave your body, and then just travel. And I know I can do it on a certain level with still being in my body, which is what Marc and I do a lot on the show. When I was younger, I used to be able to do it easily, especially when I got really tired. I could just float out of my body and I would still be conscious of being Diane. But at some point, I think I got too frightened and I kind of stopped it. So I'm trying to work on getting that back, and just so I can be able to access some more information, like raise my vibration. And so for the past couple of weeks, I've been envisioning, leaving my body and then ending up in space somewhere. And I can tell that at some point it's different than just using my imagination. I mean, aspects of myself are really traveling, and anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. It's just putting the effort in. But I noticed in the past week or so that there's another energy traveling with me. And so I was like, well, who is this? And turns out it was a new guide for me. Her name's Ruby. And she's just the sweetest energy. Not that I've ever felt, but she's pretty close. And she communicates a different way than some of my other guides. I see her energy. She's always next to me when I start trying to do this astral projection. I can see her kind of like join me at some point. And she's always got a smiling face. That's about all I can see is a face. And when other guides talk to me, it's more like, and when Marc talks to me, it's more like getting a conversation like in your head, where where you kind of see, or your brain kind of goes through the actual words. But with Ruby, it's not. It's just a knowingness of what she's trying to communicate with me. And she doesn't move her. I can see her mouth. She doesn't move it. She just smiles all the time. And she'll nod her head up and down, or, answer questions like that. And then if there's a longer explanation needed, I just know what she's communicating with me instantly. And so it's a different, and I know like it just depends. Some guides are more like that than others. For her, that's the way she's going to communicate. She won't communicate. She doesn't want to communicate any other way, which is fine, because I said, I'm getting what you're trying to tell me. But so it's been a really interesting week getting to know her. I've done some posts in the past about meeting Nate, my guide who I work with, when we are trying to help grounded energies, spirit energies, move on if they want to. Maybe I'll put the link to that. It was interesting. I was taking a walk one day, and he just popped in saying, "Hi, Corporal Nate Ferguson, at your service," more or less. And I thought, well, who is this? And then I found out that he was a soldier in the Confederate. Well, he said he was a Confederate soldier, and then I actually found his information. Maybe I'll put a link if anyone's interested in that story. But the point of this is that we all have guides we're working with, whether or not you're on a one-to-one basis with them. They're there to help you, and you don't need to know who they are. But it's a lot more fun when you open up that communication and start talking to them, and they can start talking to you. But the only way that's kind of going to work is if you practice it. Yeah, it really helps. It really helps to practice, just like any of this type of work. But anyway, so I think the show is really interesting. It was Marc's choice this week. He said he hadn't traveled anywhere. We haven't traveled anywhere in a long time. So he decided to do a lost civilization. So I hope you enjoy the show. Again, we do have a website, www.channelingmarc.com. There's a lot of wonderful information on there if you get the chance. Yeah, hello. Am I in? Kind of. Okay, yeah, hello. Yeah. This is Marc. I think I'm in. Well, if I have to pop out again, I will. Okay. Yeah. But, yeah. Diane's body is very, 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 well, not very, 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 but very, very tight.
Well, I never know until I get in, do I? Yeah, and if she's been stressed about something, or yeah, that will show, and I need to clear it out as much as I can, because stress energy is contrary to who I am, right? Well, it is. You know, it's just, it doesn't matter who you are, but in the physical, bodies get stressed, right, for whatever reason, or they hurt, or but being a spirit, when I come into a body, I want to try to relieve that, so it can bring the vibration of the body up higher, for one, so I will be more comfortable and be able to stay in it, right? Okay, yeah. So hello everybody again, this is Marc. You may know me as Marc Bolan from the rock band T-Rex. Yeah, so what are we going to do today? Yeah. And for those who haven't seen the show before, I do have some friends here with me, interdimensional and spirit. And yeah, well, yeah, we're going to take a trip today. Yeah, sometimes we have guests come in the show, but I thought it was about time, yeah, right, to take a trip, right? So we're going to need our scouts. Our scouts are here. There's 2 of them. Diane might speak to you about scouts in her, what do you want to call it? Her preamble? No, not preamble. Her talk. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to visit civilization. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's considered, I guess it would be, yeah, it's called a lost civilization. Okay. And Earth, you've got some of those, right? Atlantis, well, Pompeii, is it really lost? It was just destructed. No. It was just, yeah, it was, yeah, there's my English again. Destroyed. Thank you very much. 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 Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So this is going to be, yeah, we've taken trips before, so just bear with me, please, because sometimes it takes a little while to get there. Once we get there, I will be able to tell you where we are and who we are going to speak to, okay? And more about the civilization, okay? Okay, so let's go. Are you guys ready? Are you, yeah. Are you ready? Scouts? Yeah, Scouts are going to play an important part. Well, the scouts, they're spirit scouts, okay? They travel with us. They make sure the path is okay, and their protection as well. Okay, so yeah. And it's very important, very important to have high vibrational scouts, right? Well, you have to do a lot to, yeah. So, do we have time for that? You have to do a lot of training to be able to be a guide, for one, okay? But also the scouts are very important, because they do kind of not really mess around with, but play with the order of the universe, or galaxy, yeah. Because they're moving around, they're moving around large aspects of space, okay? Because they are, yeah, paving ways. Okay, so they have to know what they're doing. Okay, so let's go, okay? Are we gonna take a rocket this time? Maybe, an interdimensional rocket? Well, yeah, as Marc, I would have loved that. To just go to various places throughout the universe. Now, of course I can, and it's what I really enjoy doing when I'm in spirit. So I want to bring this, or I would like to bring this to all of you as well, okay? Because the universe is, as you well know, extremely large. There are galaxies, I mean, you can't count them, right? And there's usually some form of life in all of that. So yeah, part of this is just the awareness of expansion, the awareness that there is, of course, more out there than just the Earth and its solar system, and that we all are working together, really, to well, at least try to expand awareness and to bring up the vibration. Okay, let's go. Okay. No, I'm just tuning into the guides and watching what they are doing. So it very much looks, and it is a little bit difficult to speak when this is happening. It looks like, if you can envision just being literally in a rocket, okay? A very, 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 very fast moving rocket. And one that, well, it's very odd. Sometimes I tune into Diane's voice, and it's very odd that what I am saying is coming out in a voice that is not mine. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Okay. Okay, so yeah. Let's keep going. Okay. Yeah. No, I can see them, the scouts in front of me. Okay. And we will be going through different portals. I think it takes, what, 5 portals to get to where we're going. So yeah, well, it is instantaneous in a way, but yeah, I want to, well, fairly instantaneous. Not quite instantaneous. No. It's fast. Okay, let's just say it's fast. It's faster than, of course, anyone on Earth could go right now. Okay. Yeah, and they're just, yeah. Okay. Oh. Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. Just a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. Is this a place? No. This is not a place where humans, of course, humans have not been here, but that humans are even familiar with. Okay. So that's why we're going. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Here we go. They're coming close. Okay. Well, it looks like, okay. Yeah. I can explain what it looks like. Okay. So well, is it lost necessarily? Okay. It is kind of, but I can see it. Okay. I can see it because I know what I'm looking for. Okay. It's lost in the sense that it is, what would you call, camouflaged? Not yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, there's another word for that. Well, not really. No, not that. They were saying dark mode. It's not that, because it's, yeah. Well, you know what I mean. Yeah. It's yeah, hidden. But there's another word. It'll come to me. It'll come to Diane's brain. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Diane's brain's taking over now and wanting to find that word. So let that go. Okay. I'm going to let that go. Okay. No, it's still trying. Let it go. Yeah. Okay. Here we are. Yep. It's still trying. Well, your brains are interesting things, aren't they? They just don't want to give up. They just really don't want to give up. And yeah, of course, this is a collaboration with Diane's brain. Okay. And it did take me a while to get here. Her brain was not very trusting, because it was energy coming in that it wasn't familiar with. Okay. And then sometimes it gets fixated on, trying to work out. Well, brains are computers, so it gets stuck in kind of a pattern of trying to find an answer or find a word. But yeah, I have to work with this brain. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Sometimes do I what? Sometimes do I wish? Yeah, sometimes I wish. Well, no, we've worked. Well, it's more familiar to work with a brain that you're used to. So yes, I would be much more easy to work in the brain I had as Marc, but that brain is no longer in the physical realm. So yeah. So it works out fine. Okay, but once in a while we're going to have these little hiccups. Okay. Okay. So let's go. Give it up. Yeah. At peace. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like, okay, if I had my, Marc sunglasses on, which are or glasses. Yeah, rose-colored. Yep. They're rose-colored glasses. Okay. Marc rose-colored glasses. They're not sunglasses. It would look like, and they, which enable me to see, whatever I want to see, basically, or things that are maybe hidden, harder to see. Right. Well, yeah. It's just a fun way of saying, things that aren't readily available. Okay. Maybe things that are hidden, want to be hidden. And I uncover them. Okay. Okay. So it looks like, floating in the universe. It's, gold energy, oval shaped, and it also expands down a little bit. Okay. So it would look like a mass of maybe stars, or a galaxy. Okay, not as big as a galaxy. No, 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 no. Okay, now if you were flying by and you didn't know it was there, it would be you wouldn't see any of this. You wouldn't see any of this. And yes, I am not going to go there. Yep, yep, yep. Okay. Okay, so let's just knock on the door. Let's just knock on the door. Well, they are expecting us. They are expecting us. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, I made plans. Okay, okay, let's go. Let's go. Now I have to get closer. Hold on. Okay, have I been here before? No, 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 no. I have not been before, but I have spoken with them. Okay, and yeah, and yes, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go first because I wanted to not have an idea of who they are or where we're at necessarily. But the scouts did go, and others on our team have gone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Knock, knock. Yeah, knock, knock, knock. Ring or doorbell. Doorbell. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here you are. Here you are. Hello, hello. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for having us. Yeah. I'm Marc. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've spoke indirectly. Okay. We've spoken directly. Okay. Or communicated. Okay. Communicated. Okay. So yes. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can we come in? Can we come in? Okay. 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 So who do we have? Yeah, yeah. So this is going out to those on Earth. Okay. Yep, yep, yep. They've heard of it. Of course, of course, of course. Okay. Well, we've been on a lot of ships before. This is just a little bit different. Okay. So who do we have? No, you are not showing yourself as humans, obviously, because you are not. You are energy form. Energy form. Not in the physical. Not in the physical. Okay. Yeah, they're saying. Being this far out, you could be physical. You could be physical. It's a little bit, they're saying, a different frequency than maybe a physical life could survive on. Yeah, yeah, it's a little bit different. Okay, so who do we have here? Who do we have here? Yeah, there looks to be, okay, there's one apparent or a larger energy form in front of me, and I guess you're the welcoming committee. And then there are some energies behind you who are not coming forward yet. Okay. Well, you look like energy. You look like energy. Kind of yellow. I guess I would say yellow. Not really showing a definite shape. No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. So you are the welcome. Are you? Do you have any type of formal title? Okay. So you're saying kind of the director, a director type of, yeah. So do you have influence of some sort over the other energies here? Are there other energies here? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, yeah. So it's not a director in the sense of somebody who has, yeah. Okay, so they're saying they have influence in the sense that their viewpoint is highly respected, but they don't have any type of yeah, like power. Yeah, power per se. It's respect. It's respect. Okay. And then yeah, yeah. So I'm seeing you're not. No. You're not allowing me to go too far back yet. Okay. Okay. So you want to. Yeah. So it's a meet and greet. Meet and greet. They want to get a little sense of who I am. Okay. Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you know what we're doing. Yeah, I'm a spirit form talking through a physical body on Earth right now, okay? And yeah, this will be something that will go out to other humans on Earth. Right. Okay, yeah, because they're interested. We're interested in different civilizations, okay, in the universe. Yeah. In spirit, in universe, physical, non-physical, right? We want to communicate and talk. Oh, yeah, of course you know David Bowie. Of course you know David Bowie. Yeah, well, yeah. Then you know David's a good friend of mine, yeah. And we're using some of his communication systems as we speak right now in order to be able to talk to you. Right, that he helped develop. Right. Okay, yeah. So that's it in a nutshell, is that what it said? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we want to just see who you are. Okay, so yeah, you were I was told that you are considered a lost civilization. Can you explain that? Can you tell us more about that? Okay, so
no, it's not, you know, yeah, you are not saying, no, your energy form, I'm not getting male or female. Okay, so what do we, yeah, okay, they, you want to do they? Okay, or you are saying, okay, so it's not necessarily what maybe on Earth would be, yeah, and you seem to have a little bit, yeah, of an idea about what's going on Earth. Okay, but you're reading that from this body. Okay, you're reading that from this body. Okay, good. So a lost civilization that there has been on Earth is a civilization that is no longer there. Okay, Incas, right? Gone, 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 gone. Even though they still have a very big influence. Okay, so and very prominent, important civilizations that, yeah. So you're saying you are that. You are that. Now you are in. Okay. So you were saying you were in a physical form at one point. Many, what would be considered, or what would be Earth years. Okay. Yeah. So you were, yeah. So you, yeah. So you're showing me on a physical plane and then raising your elevation to, okay. So it's not that you're dead. You're not spirit. No. You've elevated, to another form, to a non-physical form. Right. And so that is how you are considered lost, even though you are still here. You still exist. It's just not on a physical plane anymore. Right. So that's how you are considered lost. So are you from Earth? Were you a civilization that was once on Earth? Oh, hold on. No. Yeah. Well, I knew that, but I just needed to ask. Okay. I just wanted to get the confirmation. Okay. So, but yeah. Okay. So you were saying that you were a civilization on a planet very similar to Earth. So you understand. Well, there are planets that are similar to Earth. Very, very similar to Earth. Okay. But okay, you're saying in better shape than Earth though, right now. As we speak, okay? Okay, so you were a civilization on Earth. So you're saying much like the Incas, much like Atlantis, okay? Where it's not necessarily that, yeah, and there's various reasons, of course, why civilizations die out. People, yeah, on Earth. Like, for instance, yeah, I mean, people can move away, or people can be, yeah, Pompeii, there could be destruction. There could be many reasons, but you're saying you stayed intact pretty much. But what caused you to move into a non-physical form? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it was part of. Okay. So your destruction did come about by wars. Right. Okay. Yeah. The throat's getting a little something. Yeah. Sometimes this happens. Okay. So there was a destruction. Okay. But it was a destruction. Okay. So let's say, so you're saying your civilization at the point in time when this destruction happened was already, pretty at a high, so already pretty elevated. Okay. So you weren't in a, yeah, you were above a 5D. Right. So you were already, so it was once you had the capability. Yeah, you had somehow had the capability to, once you were destructed in a physical form. Yeah, well, it didn't. Okay, so yeah, you're showing me the energy kind of hovered, and you were put in kind of a deep freeze, right? The energy was, so you had the capability to do that. Yeah, so it's almost like you put yourself in pods of some sort, but it was an energy pod. And then once the physical form had been destructed or died, then you were able to carry on, yeah, at a different vibration somewhere else. And that's fascinating. That is absolutely fascinating. And you're saying that many of the civilizations that have been considered lost have actually been able to do this. Okay. Okay. So then now you are hanging out then on a non-physical plane. Right. And how is that different for you? Okay. They're saying, yeah, and okay, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I'm getting this question from over here. Are you the same energy forms that were in the physical bodies? No. They are progression. But they are from physical. So yeah. So it's Yeah, so, but you are related. You are related to that. Yeah, now, so you're saying that the forms that were in kind of the limbo land, right, were able to regenerate. And then this is where you're coming from. Yeah, this is where you're coming from. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, so this is interesting. This is interesting. I'm trying to get a sense of, and how is the level or the vibration where you were kind of in limbo land different from where you are? Okay, it was a chosen preference. Okay, so yeah, those in the physical form knew what they needed to do to get the energy of the civilization kind of at a stable, constant, but yeah, safe place, right? So that was important, to be at a safe place. And was it, yeah, okay, so you're saying at the time it was in some type of form of machinery. Okay, yeah, and yeah, so yeah, but you're not showing that. You're showing it just kind of free floating limbo land. Okay, well, they may not want to tell me everything. Okay, they may not want to tell me everything. Okay, but now you're showing it definitely free form, not mechanical. Okay, yeah, so you've gone past that. So you are able to self-sustain yourself in an energy, is kind of like an energy pod. That is protected. It's basically like a ship. You are basically now in a form of a ship, but without the physical part of it. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Yeah. So if you went back, is the planet still around? Okay, so if you went back to the planet that you were originally on, you would be considered a lost civilization because you just up and went. You were up and that doesn't sound right. You just disappeared, kind of, basically. But it was I want to get back to this war. Yeah. Oh. Okay. It was an imminent war. That did start. And there was a faction of you that kind of realized you weren't going to be able to win it. Right. So, yeah, you're saying what the elders or the society made the decision that it was time to kind of, yeah. And so, yeah, I'm seeing you now. Okay, now you're showing the physical aspects getting into some type of pod or ship, and then eventually you were able to expand out of that. Yeah. But it is fascinating. Now, how common is that civilizations can do this? So you were saying, it all depends. It all depends on where the civilization is at. So you were saying some of these. Now, could an earthbound one, maybe Atlantic? Well, okay. So you were saying it's possible. It's possible that they could have done that, but they would have needed some type of assistance from outside. Because which they say has happened. That has happened. Civilizations helping those on Earth. Okay, yeah. And well, is there any way that I could see maybe? Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get a name. I'm not going to get a name for you. No. I that was part of the agreement. Yeah, I'm not going to get a name about who you are or where you are or anything like that. But that's fine. We don't need to give that information. Okay. Yeah. So, is there any way that I can maybe see in more of where I am, and would that be allowed? Yeah. Okay, yeah, somebody's going to talk to somebody else. Okay, yeah, and we'll see if that can transpire. Okay, yeah. No, the guides are with me. Guides are scouts are still with me. Yep. Well, they're hanging out in the back a little bit, but they will help me get back. Okay, yeah. Oh, what? Okay, we can't just a little bit further. I would I think I and our viewers would like to maybe talk to some other energies here. Okay, yeah, I see two energy forms up ahead. Right. Okay, now you're appearing a little bit more gender oriented. Okay, I'm picking up, and yeah, a female and somebody who is not. Yeah. Okay, so yes, who are you? Can we ask who are you? Okay, so you're saying you're kind of part of the welcoming committee, Right, right. You're part of the welcoming committee. Would you be considered kind of like, okay, they're saying kind of part of a council, part of a council. Okay, right, 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 right. Okay, so how long? Yeah. So do you have lifespans can you relate that to human years? Okay, they're saying a couple hundred, a couple hundred. And what is, can you share what is your energy form source? How do you get your, it's self-generated? Self-generated. Okay, self-generated somehow. Okay, yeah, yeah. And well, yeah, yeah. Right, right. So they're saying very, humans have, their bodies, self-generate. If you get cut, it heals. So it's very the same. You've got the sun that gives you a light that shares its energy with you. You've got spirit energy that is regenerating body. Yeah, bodies, creating bodies. Yeah, right, right, right. Okay, so they're saying it's very similar to that. Okay, and then okay, so yeah. I was just going to ask that. Do you have a main purpose other than just sustaining yourselves and being, or just, yeah. Can you compare your lives or your civilization with maybe somebody with Earth? With Earth, they're saying, well, yeah, of course. We're a civilization. We are a group of energies that live together in relatively the same space. We've got past ancestors, DNA, well, some form of DNA that they share. No, okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So can somebody who is not part of your current civilization or past civilization be welcome to come live with you? And they're saying, of course. Yeah, it's yeah. So they're saying they don't really consider themselves a lost civilization. They consider themselves, but if you look back on the history of the planet that they came from, they would be considered that. Right. They're saying it's not really, okay, yeah. They're saying they do have energies that come and study, okay, that come and study their past and how they are doing. Okay, so you will have energies, beings do that. But it's not that you would, and and they're saying they're not like, no, they're not closed off. They are a bit secretive. And that would be pretty much the norm for anyone in their situation. That's just, most civilizations are like that. You could be open to receiving, but you do have some protection over yourself, right? And that's just, what's going to happen. But yeah, so you do have scholars. You're saying scholars come and study. Does anyone stay? They're saying some have, but usually they have somewhere else they want to go back to. Right. And so how do they travel? Can they be in some type of physical form? And then they're saying yes, actually, they can be in a physical form. But yeah, no. So you're saying you can sustain physical life where you are. Right. You can accommodate for physical life where you are. Yeah. It would have to be, somebody in a physical form who could actually do it, communicate, and be able to survive, right? But they're saying, they can accommodate it. It's not probably their preference, but if it's important enough, or they can do that, which is really interesting. And if we had more time, we could go into that. Okay. So they're saying this might sound extreme to viewers on Earth, but it's not that uncommon, okay, where they are, that this can be done, and that that this is a possibility. So one of the reasons that they wanted to come and talk to everybody was to just let you know that, yes, this might sound extreme to somebody on the Earth, but where they are, it's not really that uncommon. They are, I mean, obviously you're an advanced civilization, right? You're an advanced civilization compared to the Earth is of course. But they're saying that, planets, physical planets, Earth is relatively, the civilization is relatively new compared to some. And so, you have your ups and downs, and other planets have had theirs as well. So, right.
Yeah, yeah, let me ask you this. So you're not, yeah, maybe I should ask that instead. Okay, yeah. So what are your forms of entertainment? Yeah. Do you have, okay. Yeah, do you have music? Do you have movies? They're saying not in the sense of what, yeah, because they're visualizing, they're reading what my energy is saying. And they're saying not in the same sense, like no. And yeah, and plant forms. Yeah, I'm asking, yeah, about the plant forms. They're saying, well, it's not physical, obviously. Nothing is physical here. Yeah, unless they're making allowances for some physical being to be there. But in general, of course, it's not. They're saying much like spirit. So they do have forms of entertainment. They do have forms of recreation. It's just obviously not in the physical sense. So could you show some? Yeah, hold on. Yeah, this body is just going to take a break for a little bit, okay? Yeah. It's okay. No. No, it's doing okay. It's doing okay. But we might have to, wrap it up soon. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So they're trying, it's going to take body a little bit more, my connection with body a little bit more to kind of tune into more unusual scenarios or not issues necessarily, but thought patterns. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, so what they're saying is on Earth, okay? On Earth, sometimes, in general, okay, you could have a tune or a song going through your head, okay? But in general, and that is the basis for what they are saying, okay? But in general, it's probably because you're remembering something that you heard on a radio or whatever, okay? They're different in the sense that they're creating it at the time they are hearing it, or they can create it the time they are seeing it, right? So it's not an outside force that's coming in, it's them. They have the, and it's not, no, and everyone would be the same. Okay, so you could say on Earth, maybe, I'm just not artistic, but I love looking at paintings, or I'm not musical, but I love listening to somebody else's music. No, they don't, they can't, every single one of them can create at a level where, well, everyone on Earth can create a song, okay, if you put enough effort into it, okay? But maybe they don't feel they can. Okay, so they're already saying they have the knowledge, knowing, or they're at the, they have the knowledge to know that, yes, they can create whatever they want, okay? And they can create it on current time. They can create it, so they're showing me plays or, I mean, they're saying they have different ideas of entertainment than the Earth would, okay, or recreation. And they're saying just because they don't have a physical body doesn't mean that they, I mean, you have to, so they're saying they have to cleanse their energy, they have to take, like spirit spa days, clean your energy, you have to replenish energies in whatever form that it takes. And so they're saying, what? Yeah. So you're saying your idea of entertainment is a little bit different than what would be, done on the Earth, but it's very similar but everyone can do it on their own, and they know that, right. And they're saying, which is a little different than Earth, because some people will say, I'm tone deaf or whatever, right. Or I can't draw. Right. So they're putting, I mean, everyone can draw. You might not be proficient at it unless you practice a lot, though. Right. But they're saying they have the ability to be proficient and know that they can do it. Right. Which is interesting. Okay. We're going to have to wrap this up soon. But I just want to, Does anyone else have any questions for them? Oh, okay. So somebody is asking, okay, so you've been you've been considered a lost civilization that has just transpired to a different form, right. So do you have any plans on doing anything else? Can you do anything else than being this form? Can you transition to another?
You can. Okay, so they're saying, yes, we can transition to a higher frequency that would be more like compatible to maybe gas, some type of gas form, a lighter frequency. They say they definitely can, and they will be able to do that. And then, yeah, so they're saying much like a spirit world, they will be able to transition into a more of a cohesive one energy, which is where they say, you know, all of us eventually will go. But they're saying, yes, they have the capacity to do that. They are actually planning on doing that, but it will be many years before that will happen. And it's, well, now, is that a choice? They're saying it's a choice, okay? And it's very much a group effort, okay? It's very much a group effort. And when everyone is ready to expand to that different level or frequency, then they will do it. But right now, they are enjoying where they are at, right? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for talking with us. And it was fascinating to find out who you are and where, and your existence, how you live. Right. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, okay. They're saying, thank you for coming. They feel it's important. Okay. They feel that it's important that everyone be made aware of others' existence, and to try not to put limitations on that, even though it might be, so they're saying, even though humans, they have, of course there's science fiction, there are people talking about this type of thing, but it's not the norm. They keep saying norm. Okay, it's not the norm, okay, on the planet to really believe that, civilizations like they can exist. So it's good to open up. And, you know, everyone can judge for themselves whether or not they think this is a possibility or not. But they're saying, you know, try to be. They're asking if those on Earth can be open to this type of thing, because the sooner that more people, more spirits are open, well, more people, they're saying, more humans are open to this, then the faster that the planet can expand and raise its vibration, because openness creates, obviously it opens up to other frequencies, right, and other possibilities. So instead of being limiting or filtering, right, because that's going to keep you at a certain level, right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, we got to head back. We're heading back. Okay, thank you. No, I'm going to come back. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, we're getting closer. Okay. Yeah. It's easier for me, as I said, to talk when we're not traveling. Okay, hold on. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is a better communication space. Okay. Yeah. Well, that was a great show. Well, I was interested because when we do kind of, I find a lot, I do, as Marc, I find a lot of our guests and places that we want to go. This one, again, as last week, was brought about by, somebody on our team. Right. And so, I didn't want to know anything about them. I wanted to be, the reporter on the scene, so to speak. Right. So it was very nice to talk with them. And I really enjoyed traveling, so we'll see if we can do that more often. Okay, so this is Marc signing off until next time. Thanks for coming to the show. Yeah.